Dear students, in the last video we have started with classification. This classification that includes inside the taxonomy. That's right. So let us start with taxonomy. What is this taxonomy? It's a branch of biology which deals with the study of identification, classification as well as nomenclature of the organisms is said to be as taxonomy. It is the branch of biology which deals with the study of identification, classification and nomenclature of organisms is called as taxonomy. In this, what we are studying now, then if you know better, if you study better this taxonomy, it is taxonomy only. If you don't study properly, then it becomes tax on me itself. Right? In this taxonomy, we study the identification of the individual organism, classification of the individual organism, and one particular name is given to one particular organism. So these are the three things that we study over here. Then, what do you mean by identification? All these words, terms that we'll elaborately study ourselves. First word is identification. What do you mean by identification? Right? So that is nothing but one new organism has been invented by any one of the scientists, right? And that identified organism must be compared with already invented organisms so that we can assign that particular organism in one particular group, right? So means we can classify that one. That is nothing but identification. Say for example, so with example I can clarify what this identification is. So this is, so say for example here I shall take A, B as well as C. These are the three plant species. These are the three plant species over here. So these are already invented by somebody else. Okay. And now one scientist has invented one new individual organism, that is D, right? D is being identified over here. And this D is compared with A as well as B as well as C. Whether the characteristic feature of D is is comparatively similar to A or B or C. We'll have to check that one. Okay. If it is compared with B, so most of the similar characters are there in B as well as D, right? So similar characters, if they are, then we'll have to add to that group. So this is how identification of individual organism has been done over here. After the identification, classification of the individual organism is to be done, right? What do you mean by classification? This is nothing but the way of or the arrangement of individual organism in a proper group, right? The arrangement of individual organism in proper group, appropriate group, is called as what? Classification. It is the arrangement of an individual in a proper growth based on its characters as well as relationships. Here we consider the characteristic features of that individual organism and their relationship with other organisms, or their phylogenetical relations, or so genetical relations. So all those are considered, or evolutionary relationships. They have been considered over here for classification. So this is about the classification. And last term is nomenclature. You are so familiar with the nomenclature, right? What is nomenclature? Nomenclature. This nomenclature is nothing but it is the science of giving one particular name to one individual organism. That is called as nomenclature. It is a science of giving particular name to an individual organism. This is nothing but nomenclature, right? So these are the three terms. If we do, then it is nothing but taxonomy. And one more important term is there, that is systematics. So what do you mean by systematics? Let us see. Systematics is nothing but it is involving the study of diversity of the organisms, not only diversity of organisms but also their relationships, right? That is nothing but systematics. Systematics, the term, it involves the study of diversity of organisms and their relationship is called as systematics. Systematics is derived from a Latin word systema, which means systematic arrangement. Systematic arrangement of organisms. Systematic arrangement of organisms. Systema is the term used by Carolus Linnaeus, and he used that one for his publication Systema Naturae, right? It is used by Carolus Linnaeus for his publication Systema Naturae, right? So this is systematics. There are different types of taxonomies out there, right? And those types of taxonomies, let us go through now. Types of taxonomy. There are different types of taxonomies out there. First one is alpha taxonomy. What is this alpha taxonomy? It is the type of taxonomy in which identification and classification of organisms has been done based on morphological characteristic features. Here, based on morphological characters, the identification and classification of organisms is being done. Next one is Second type, that is beta taxonomy. It's another type of taxonomy in which identification and classification of organisms is being done not only based on the morphological features but also some of the features of genetical characters as well as anatomical characters, palynological characters, physiological characters are considered over here. In this type of taxonomy, we consider genetical, anatomical, palynological, and physiological characters have been used over here for the classification of organisms. One is genetical characters, another one is anatomical characters, next one is palynological characters. All these are so familiar to you, but palynology, it is the study of pollen grains, right? Pollen grains. Based on considering the pollen grains, right? So here classification of organisms has been done. And third one is omega taxonomy. Is another type of taxonomy in which we classify the organisms based on the information, right? The information whatever we get from all the plants, so based on that we classify the organisms based on information got from plants, right? So these are different types of taxonomies that we come across, and there are certain bases of classification are there. Those bases of classification I am going to mention over here, that's all, right? So there are different types of bases of classification are there. So let us see basis of classification. First one is cytotaxonomy. Second one is morphotaxonomy. Third one is karyotaxonomy. Fourth one is numerical taxonomy. Fifth one is phylogenetical classification. So these are different types of basis of classification that we come across. Here cytotaxonomy, we consider cytological aspects over here for the classification of organisms, and morphotaxonomy, morphological features have been considered here. Karyotaxonomy, consideration of nuclear aspects, so that is numerical taxonomy. Some of the statistical aspects have been considered here. Phylogenetical classification, that is evolutionary relationships, so that is phylogenetical classification. These are some bases of classification. And the next topic is taxonomical categories. Taxonomical categories. What is the intention of, what is the main aim of the study of this taxonomy? That is nothing but assigning one particular organism in the systemic frame of or framework of the classification. Means we will have to group, or will have to assign one organism in one particular group. That is the main intention why we study this taxonomy, right? And these taxonomical categories, what these taxonomical categories are? So they are also called as Linnaean hierarchy. It is also called as taxonomical hierarchy. It is also named as, right? So this systematic framework, what I said is, this is nothing but taxonomical hierarchy. There are different hierarchies that we come across, that you have already studied in the previous classes. That is species, genus, family, order, class, right? Division or phylum, as well as ultimately kingdom. These are nothing but taxonomical categories what we come across here. They are also called as a Linnaean hierarchy. Why? Because Carolus Linnaeus is the name of the scientist, the one who made this hierarchies. Hence, they are also named as Linnaean hierarchy. Basically, Carolus Linnaeus, he considered only 5 taxonomical categories. He considered Carolus Linnaeus considered only 5 taxonomical categories. So they are class, order, family, genus, species, right? Class, order, family, genus, species. Along with that, so he also considered one more, that is varieties. Varieties. And this last one has been removed over here, right? So all these are considered. And in addition to these, some more, that is 3 were considered over here. And those 3 are, first one is kingdom. Next one is division or phylum. Next one is class, order, family, genus, species. All these were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, ultimately 7 taxonomical categories that we come across nowadays. Alright? So lowest is the species, highest is the kingdom. Right? So this is how taxonomical categories have been done. When we go up from the lower side, so species towards the kingdom, the number of characteristic features goes on decreasing, right? So the number of characteristics goes on decreasing when we go up from species up to kingdom, right? This fact is very important. Why? Because on this fact, so some of the questions were asked in the previous years, right? So these are the taxonomical categories. And what this single step of this hierarchy called as single step of Linnaean hierarchy. This is also called as Linnaean hierarchy. Why? Because this was made by Carolus Linnaeus, right? And in this Linnaean hierarchy, species is one category that we come across, genus is another one. Like this, all these taxonomical categories are there. Each step of taxonomical category, each step of Linnaean hierarchy or taxonomical hierarchy is called as a taxon. Is called as taxon. Taxon is nothing but each step of Linnaean hierarchy. Taxon is defined as each step of Linnaean hierarchy is called as taxon, right? And let us go through each taxons, study of each taxons. First of all, the basic unit of Linnaean hierarchy is species. Let us start with species first. First one is species. What is this species? The species is group of organisms which are closely related with each other and reproduce among themselves, and they share the same number of chromosomes. Such kind of group of individuals which are closely related one and reproduce among themselves and share the same number of chromosomes called as species. It is group of closely related individuals which reproduce among themselves and share the same number of chromosomes is called as species. This is usually called as basic unit of Linnaean hierarchy, right? Or the fundamental unit of Linnaean hierarchy it is called as. And so this species, some examples we can take over here. Some examples are Mangifera indica. Mangifera indica is one. Solanum tuberosum is another example. In these examples, Mangifera and indica, as yesterday we had gone through the scientific names, that moment, so it includes two names, one is genus name and second one is species name. Then Solanum itself is genus name, it is genus name, and tuberosum itself is species name, right? This is genus, this is species, and Mangifera itself is genus and indica itself is species. So like this part of the scientific name itself is species, right? Which is a basic unit or the fundamental unit of Linnaean hierarchy, it is called as, right? So here genus includes several species. Several closely related species so are coming under one genus, right? Then genus is said to be as higher taxon than that of species. It includes several closely related species. So some of the examples we may take over here. Solanum tuberosum is one species that we come across. In the same way, Solanum nigrum is another species we come across, and Solanum melongena is another species that we come across. Solanum is genus. It includes several closely related species like tuberosum, nigrum, melongena, right? So these are some of the examples that we can take for species. Okay, so this is about the species, and the next one is genus. Let us see all those different taxons, right, that we come across in Linnaean hierarchy in the next video. Thank you.